Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rachel Klein and I will be your presenter here for the next 20 minutes. Today we are going to be talking about how to advance groups and classes in the membership module, and we're going to also talk about how to advance school grades. So today's topic comes from one of our many workbooks that you can purchase out at churchwindows.com. Today we're working in the Membership 201 workbook, specifically pages 20 through 24. So if you have any interest in purchasing that workbook, you can do so by heading out to churchwindows.com, and then under Beginning, you can go down to Training Workbooks. They're $12 if you want to purchase it and download it, print it off yourself, or they're $22 if you want us to print it for you and then mail it, and it'll be in a binder ready format. But here are all the workbooks we offer. Again, today we're working in the Membership 201 workbook. But this is also going to be recorded, so if you want to rewatch this later, or you have someone that you'd like to share this webinar with that couldn't attend the live event, but maybe they want to go watch it later. As always, I'm getting this recorded. I'll get it cleaned up and put it out on our website under our support center. So again, if you go to churchwindows.com under supporting, click on support center here. This will take you out to a bunch of free videos and documents here in the support center. So this is the webinar I did last week. As you can see, it's right up here at the top for you to rewatch at any time. Again, if we have an event coming up that you think would be really beneficial, but the time doesn't work for you, it's going to be recorded and then it's going to be out here on our support center to rewatch. I try to get them up same day before quitting time at 5, so you should be able to come out here and re-watch those at any time. We've been pretty busy with support calls this week, so I am the only technician in here today. So feel free to ask questions as they pop up. I do ask that you try to keep them topical, but type those questions in on the GoToWebinar toolbar. I'm not even going to look at the questions till the end. If you've done a webinar with me before, I always say I have a really hard time reading a question while I'm teaching. So I actually close the question section and I don't look at it until after I'm done teaching, because I tend to get myself all mixed up if I'm trying to read a question and talk to you guys at the same time. So feel free to pop it in there and I'll get to it once I have everything covered that I wanted to go over with you guys. Okay. So let me pull up Church Windows. So as you can see, we're in version 22.19.3. It's up here in the top right. This is our most current version to date for Church Windows. If you have a different version or something older, head out to our website. You can download the update, the service release, which is this number here, the .3. Or if you have something prior to 22, shoot us an email or contact us at support and we can help. Let me go ahead and pull up membership here. And I'm going to go into people just to show you a couple things before we actually jump into the advancing process. So advancing groups and classes and advancing school grade, they're two different things. There's two separate procedures for those. Okay, so I want to kind of show you the differences before I show you the actual procedure to do so. So if we go into people, you're going to have a field under the individual fields called school grade, which you're going to see right here. Now, school grade is simply just that. It is just the grade of school someone is currently in. All right, so as you can see, for this example, this is sample data. Yours could look a little different. We have kindergarten through high school graduate, which is a G. So typically this is what you're going to see for your school grade fields. Again, you can customize them a little bit. Maybe you guys have a preschool in your church and you want to have some preschool descriptions listed out. You can definitely do that. Or if you want to track past high school graduate, you can do that as well if you want to keep track of what extra schooling people have gone through. You can definitely customize that, and I'll show you where you can do that in a minute. But typically, you're going to see a K through 12 situation here for school grade. So advancing school grade is just a couple clicks. It's a very straightforward, simple process. So that's what I'm going to show you towards the second half of the webinar. The first half, we're going to go over advancing groups and classes, okay? So advancing groups and classes and school grades are two separate things. I want to make sure I make that really clear. Let me show you the groups and classes. So if we go up here to groups and skills, and then I'm going to go to set up groups. This is actually going to show you all of your groups and classes that have been set up within your church windows. So as you can see in this set of sample data, we have them kind of organized within different departments. And then within each department, like if I hit the plus sign here, these are the actual groups and classes that have been set up and people have been assigned to. Okay, so for today's example from the book, starting on page 20, we are going to look at advancing Sunday school classes. All right, so advancing Sunday school classes, again, is going to be very different from advancing school grades. So the Sunday school classes are still organized by school grade, which is fine. And as you can see, one class actually includes first and second grade for the Sunday school class itself. All right. Now, something to keep in mind when you are advancing your groups and classes specifically for Sunday school, you need to make sure this group or class is set up to show on the advancement screen. So it is possible that you have some groups or classes that aren't going to be part of an advancement process that you're going to do. So Sunday school, if it's organized by grade, obviously kids are going to move up in grade, so their Sunday school class is going to change. But say you have a class called, let's see, Bible study. That might not be a class that you would need to advance regularly. All right. So if you look over here to the right, we have this checkbox that says Show on Advanced Screen. As you can see, Bible study is not checked to be a group or class that you would advance or move up to a different group. If we go back over here and click on one of our Sunday school classes that's organized by grade, you can see that this box to show on the advanced screen is checked. All right, so any classes that you know you're going to need to advance people to another group or class, you need to make sure this box is checked. So for our examples, first, second grade, third and fourth grade, fifth and sixth, seventh and eighth, all of these classes have that show on advanced screen checked. All right, so that's really important to make sure you have that. All right, now I'm going to close out of here. And just to touch on for 1 second, I do want to show you there is an Assign Groups button here. All right, so if you are going to be adding people to groups, so if you're very new at using groups and classes, you're going to go into this Assign Groups button. And this is where you're going to have the ability to add people to a specific group. Okay, so for example, let's look at first and second grade. Here are some history of who's in what group or class. If you want to add someone, you would simply click them to highlight them, hit the right facing arrow. That would move them to the right and add them to that class. Okay. That's for another webinar, but I just wanted to show you where that is found. All right, so let's close out of here. And I'm going to go back up here to the top, but this time I'm going to go to Special Functions. And then I'm going to go to Advanced Groups. So we're going to do Advanced Groups first, and then I'm going to show you how to do the school grade. I'm going to check Advanced Groups here. And first it's going to pop up with this Advanced Groups Classes screen. So this is where you have to specify for these groups on the left what group they are going to be advancing to here in the second column in the center. All right, so you have to tell the program if someone is in first and second grade Sunday school, you need to tell it if someone is advancing out of that group what they are advancing to, all right, in the two group classes column. So right here, if I hit the down arrow, you're going to see all of your groups and classes that you had set up here. And then you're going to choose the group or class that is going to be the to group to advance. So as you can see, these are already set up. So anybody in my first or second grade class, Sunday school class, is going to move to third and fourth. Anybody in third and fourth, going to move to fifth, sixth. Anybody in fifth, sixth is then going to move to seventh and eighth. Okay. Now I understand you might have someone who's in first grade who's going to be in second, but isn't actually going to be advancing into my third, fourth, because they're not in third or fourth grade yet. They're just moving from first to second. I'll show you that in a minute, how you can pick and choose in that specific group who advances. Okay. We'll see that on the next screen. So bear with me. All right. So now that we have our matches made of what groups advance to what group, you also have this remove history column. So if you don't care to see the history of who was in what group and when, you can check this remove history checkbox, okay? Then you also have this advance by column. This will tell you who did the advancement last. So typically you're going to want to do this advancement every year as school grades change. It would show that person's username. So if I work for your church, and my username is Rachel Klein, once I do this advancement, you will see Rachel Klein here listed, and then you'll see the date that I sat at the machine and I did the advancement. That'll show here as well, okay? You're seeing universal login here. Again, this is sample data. We don't have any security set up, so there's just the one. All right, but again, if you have security set up in your church windows, you're going to see that username here and the date the advancement was done. Okay, so you don't do it too much, if you will. You would do it once a year, specifically for these Sunday school classes. All right. Now that I have my advancements made, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to simply check the groups that I want to advance. So for today's example, we're just sticking with our Sunday school classes. And you can see here 7th and 8th grade junior high fellowship is going to move to senior high fellowship. Again, this is sample data. Your groups and classes could be set up differently, which is fine. So now that I have the ones checked that I want to use, I'm going to hit Advance Selected. And it's then going to take me to my first screen. So this is my first advancement that's going to occur. And this is my first and second grade Sunday school class to my third and fourth grade Sunday school class. All right, so as you can see, Bill Bell, the kid I just added earlier, is the only person who's actively or currently in this group as of today's date. So I can decide at this point if Bill Bell needs to move up to third or fourth grade Sunday school. So if Bill is moving from first grade to second grade, then he doesn't need to advance to the third or fourth grade class. So in this example, you would only take someone who's moving from second to third and advance them. All right. So I'm just going to hit cancel for this one. And then it's going to take us to our third, fourth, moving to fifth, sixth. All right. So of all of these kids, let's say everybody but Mike needs to move up to the fifth and sixth grade Sunday school class. All right. So we are not checking Mike, meaning we want Mike to stay within the third and fourth grade Sunday school class because he is only moving from third grade to fourth grade. So his Sunday school class does not need to change. All right. So simply check the ones you want to move. Don't check the ones you want to leave. And then we're going to go down here and put in our start date. So we want to tell the program when these kids are going to be in this fifth, sixth grade class. So I actually had to Google dates so I knew roughly when school started so I could have their Sunday school classes to match that date range. So the date we're going to use is 04/28/2020. And again, these are specific to the dates you guys want to use. I'm just using them for a rough date here. We're going to do 05/10/2021. All right, so that is the date range these kids are going to be in that fifth, sixth grade Sunday school class. Date ranges are not required, but we heavily suggest that you use date ranges. That way you know who is in what group and when. So I'm simply going to hit OK. And it's going to verify with me this action will advance the selected people from third, fourth grade Sunday school to fifth, sixth grade Sunday school. History will be removed. People will be moved to fifth, sixth. Just verifying this is kind of your last chance to cancel if you don't want to do it. but I'm going to say okay for this. And that moved those kids, and now it takes me to my next group that I checked. So here are my kids that are moving. Let's say all of these kids are moving from 6th grade to 7th grade. So I need to change their Sunday school class. So I'm going to check everybody here. Again, I'm going to put in my date range. And I'm going to put in my end date, 2021, and I'm going to say okay. Here's my verification. This is my last chance to decide if yes or no, this is what I want to do. I'm going to say okay. And then it's taking me to my last one, which is my 7th, 8th grade to my junior high to my senior high. I'm going to check the ones I want. Type in my date again. And that is as easy as it is to advance your kids from one class to the next, giving you the flexibility to pick particular kids. Okay. And that's it. Now, if I look back here on my screen, I can see the username, and I will be able to see the date that I actually sat at the machine and advanced everything. All right? So that is that for advancing groups and classes. Pretty straightforward there. Make your matches, check the ones you want to advance, and then manually go through each advancement, making sure the proper kids or people are moving forward. All right? So that's advancing groups or classes. School grade is way easier than that even. So if we go back up here to special functions, I'm going to go to advance grade. I'm on the bottom of page 23 if you guys are following along in the book. But this is where you can come in and make some new school grades if you want to. So again, if you guys have a preschool or you want to track what school grade kids are in, based on their preschool, you can add those in here. If you want to keep track of some higher education, you can do that as well by using this Add New Grade button down here at the bottom. Right? Now, keep in mind the advancement is going to occur in the order that you see here on the screen. So, for example, kindergarten's moving to first is going to second, third, and so forth. As you can see, these are all listed in order. You do have the option to not advance something if you wish. You can simply check that box here, and then this grade will not advance. The kids will stay in that school grade. All right. Now, this does the advancement on a mass scale. Okay, so you do not have the option to pick or unselect certain kids in the school grade advancement. It is literally going to do everybody. Okay, so if you do find you have a kid who is staying in the same grade for the next year, during this advancement process, it's going to move that kid along with everyone else. But keep in mind, you will have to go back to that individual's record and then update their individual school grade on their record itself. Okay, so this is a mass change for all school grades, but again, you simply go back to the record and change it to what you need if that's the case for someone who's staying in the grade. Okay. All right, now that everything is in good order here. One more thing too, down here at the bottom, high school graduate. Whatever the last field is here, it isn't going to advance. So high school grade graduate is the last option in the list. There's nothing else listed below it. So whoever is currently has high school graduate in their school grade, it isn't going to change with this advancement. Okay. So I'm simply going to click here, advanced grades. It says this will move students from first advancing grade to the grade below it. This process will affect all grades not marked do not advance. Again, here's that do not advance column. The last grade in the list will not advance further, which is just what we talked about. High school graduate, they aren't moving anywhere. I'm going to say okay. It tells me school grades have been advanced. Say okay again. And now if we look back here where it says last date advanced, it has today's date and then advanced by, if I had a username, it would say Rachel Klein. Okay. And that's it. That's all you do for advancing school grades. And then you just close out. All right, so that covers everything I wanted to go over with you guys today for advancing groups and classes and advancing school grades.